Wholeness, beautiful beings, welcome to Notes of Nara. My name is Naja Rashida, but you can call me Nara for short. I almost didn't want to make a video today, to be honest. Truly, it's one of those days where you just kind of don't want to feed that energy vortex. To keep it moving, to keep it going. I am currently going through a transformational point in my life. And so entering into this new season, and what I like to call the season of fire, right? The air is getting more chilly and brisk, and then the leaves change. The sweaters come out, the hot teas, the soups, staying indoors more, going inward. It's a moment. October, November, December is a time for deep, deep self-reflection. I use fall and winter as my time for that. And it's also in my birthday season. But today, we're getting closer towards the end of September. We just had, couple of major solar and lunar eclipse. We had the fall equinox, so a lot is going on that's affecting the collective personally and professionally. And, so I'm sifting through that. I'm trying to move and be in flow of that. I was going to name, the title of this video was going to be Sitting with Disagreement Within the Self. But I believe, if anything, I'd like to call this sitting with the self during, or being present with the self during a transformational period, okay? Entering into a new era of life where you revisit values and principles that you've been following either all of your life or for a better portion of a decade, right? So what is this looking like for me? Well, I'm making plans to relocate. I'm making plans to go overseas, move abroad, expand my horizons, and to invoke a more creative path in my life that I've neglected for some time. I planted this seed about 5 years ago, actually, and when the whole world shut down and it enclosed itself within itself. The year of 2020 was the time where I had just this, I think it probably from 2020 to 2021 was probably the best time of my life, where I was most at peace with myself and doing and creating things, no matter how small the engagement was, sharing my music and doing my artwork. I really felt just at peace, and there was this kind of excitement and nervousness of how my life would continue to unfold in that space back in 2020 to 2021. But then I found myself going back to that old, worn out program of the 9 to 5, going back to, going back to the same job I've done before. So I went back into the medical field, and then I returned to education. And then I said, okay, I need to be a big girl, put my big girl pants on and hunker down and go get to grad school, because that master's degree is going to open up so many doors and open up so many this and that. And I had a realization of I would say an awakening of the heart this summer to myself. And with this reawakening to myself, my heart space, I began to pull in. I became a magnet, and I pulled in, I would say, reflection or reflections of all that was healed and all that was unhealed within me. And it truly when you find a mirror of yourself, an external mirror manifested in front of you, you're elated. It lights you up. It makes you feel seen and understood and felt, recognized, respected almost. And then what mirrors do is it the truth is the truth when you look into a mirror. And I recognized a pattern within myself that I had been carrying probably for all of my life, all of my adult womanhood, of this, and it with this belief and programming, it was almost, I think it's something that I had to go through, I had to face, it had to wear many different masks, but all in all, that mask was gently removed from my face, and I found myself holding that mask, looking at it, looking at myself. And so yes, there is this wound when it comes to self-worth and self-esteem. And for a long while, I would attract very specific experiences regarding my love life and very specific experiences regarding my professional life and very specific experiences involving my monetary gain, my financial, my finances. And when I'm taking a look now that I'm in, I would say, this serpentine season of my life where serpents are symbolic for healing. I mean, deep, deep transformational healing. And it's one of my medicines that I'm studying. And I will say, it's been quite, not a shocker of the issue with self-worth, self-esteem with these three areas I just mentioned. But it's almost been, the big question is like, what do I do now? How can I heal this? So with my loving relationships, or I don't know, maybe the journey to self-love, right? Or I would say the arrows to self-love type of relationships, because a lot of the time we deem love relationships as just full of this beautiful, wonderful, easy, romantic feeling. And a lot of the time our relationships are just the mirrors we need to peel back yet another layer, another mask, to help us get that much closer to self-love, to the complete 360 of seeing and embracing all of you. So each relationship that I've been in, without getting too personal, and to respect confidentiality and privacy, because I'm not that open about my stuff. I don't think it's necessary to share all that, but I will say each one was a gift. Each connection with a person was a gift, and I feel gratitude. I feel the utmost gratitude for it, for them. They brought the raw truth to, and it was almost like, now when I look back, the gift was the truth about myself and the truth of my wounds. It was almost like each partner said, here you go. Here's another forgotten part of yourself that brought me to you. I'm mirroring this to you. This is a gift. Take it. Okay? And I took each and every single one into my arms and my heart. Not really full, and it's almost like I was just collecting these pieces of myself before. It was almost like, before I put this puzzle together, this puzzle of me, let me collect all the pieces that I need so that when it's finally time to put the pieces together, I am ready for the new adventure, for the new era of my life. And that's taken numerous relationships. But I now am in this place and space to show the utmost gratitude for each experience, because I'm that much closer to fully embodying what it really means to allow love to flow within myself. Love is always in flow. It is not kept. It's not hidden. It's not stagnant. It doesn't protect itself or anything like that. No. There's no need for that. Love is free. Real love is given. Real love is received. And so yes, embarking into this new era of gratitude for those connections specifically. The second I mentioned was professionally, how, self-worth. I was on this be of service, master servant kick for the past 12, 13 years or so, where I was completely obsessed with being of service, being told that I was a healer and light worker and all this other stuff. I got lost in the labels for a time, and it followed me. I even moved multiple states away to try to reinvent myself. All the while, it was almost like a sacred contract that I had to fulfill. There was no way out of it. And it was something that I needed all the years and the time to process all of this karma and energy and programming conditioning to get to a place where I'm at right now in my life. And so self-worth, there was a time I was so obsessed with, and this goes back decades. Like when I was about 5 or 6 years old, I wanted to be a doctor and a musician. And that's what I wanted, because it was embedded in my consciousness from very, very young. And I do believe in prior lifetimes and future lifetimes. And I think that was one where I was a healer of some kind or whatnot, but I just was so obsessed with being of service, helping people. And you get so caught up in doing something of purpose, with purpose, that you allow service to define you. And then you allow that whatever you're doing, however you're serving, to dictate your worth as a human being, which is such a toxic, dangerous way to go about life. I'm entering into a very different phase in my life where it's like, do what you enjoy, follow your joy. And is it easy? No, it's not. No. I'm not talking about that at all, but I got obsessed and my health suffered for it. I would work myself to the bone. I wouldn't take off for holiday or vacation. I would work through, I remember one time working in the hospital, I got in a car accident, severe whiplash, probably slight concussion, and I went to work the very next day working 2 shifts, 12-hour shifts in a row, like a nut, a complete nut. Or being forced to take a day off after a family loss. Really kind of putting myself last. And so again, that ties into self-worth. And then last but not least, finances. I think finances can be a very deep ancestral programming and in culture, political, social, economic status in the world, and also your own ego and your own self-perception of your role in society and how you view yourself. And, like many people, You know, you chase the status quo. You chase the 4-year college degree. You chase just the career. You know, you make enough just to get by. You settle for less. You know, and in order to make the big bucks, you got to sacrifice everything and not have a life and not have your health, and all these programs that just overwhelm you. And poverty, right? Poverty mindset is big. You know, I've met people that would make well over 6 figures, but they would be pinching their pennies like they had nothing. Or I would meet people who would literally be living on a prayer in someone's couch and they were very full and satisfied, or vice versa. You know, there are times where I had to crash on someone's couch because I wiped the slate clean, started over from scratch. You know, and had to pinch my pennies, you know, not knowing what was going to happen and all that other stuff. And then there are times where I was a bit more abundant in my life and I had money to play around with, and you know, but still there was a deeper issue. When it comes to finances and financial abundance, it's almost like we feed into such a fixed system, a fixed illusion of what abundance truly is. It is a state of being. Just like service, I feel like service is a state of being. You can serve and be an artist. You can serve and be a professional singer. You can serve and be a community leader, right? With relationships, when it comes to self-worth, which I think my relationships have been probably the most challenging, but the most important, you know, for me in my individual path. Because I go into this weird cocoon phase, this hermit phase of, you know, during an ending of a connection, I just go inward and I just do a lot of processing and a lot of self-reflection. I tend to overthink, you know, my feelings. I tend to overanalyze, you know, it's just a phase. But yeah, it's deeply transformational, and given, you know, relocating to a strange land that speaks a strange tongue, I think it's perfect for me. To be honest, I feel like I'll fit in better than I ever have in my own homeland, you know, my own country. And I mean, you know, if you know, you know what I'm saying? It's like when you already feel like an oddball, it's like you go where the oddballs hang out. You gravitate towards what is different already, and you find your place. You create your space. You create your community. So I don't want to make this too long. Sorry if I sound a bit monotone. It's a work night, and you know, I as far as my current profession, you know, going back to the classroom and whatnot, I feel so different than I did last year. Like, my mind is I'm just in a very different space. I don't feel the need to kill myself over, you know, a job, or to go like just overdo everything. I've been overdoing everything and not focusing on my state of being. And next month we're definitely going to be talking on a certain topic in depth, because for those empaths out there, without this thing that we're going to talk about in October, it's detrimental for your spirit, for the health of your spirit, for the health of your mental or your mind, body. So yeah, it's more of sitting or observing the metamorphosis, you know, of while you're entering into a new era. It's been challenging emotionally. It's been challenging, but very freeing. I feel free. I don't feel bound by anything. you know? I don't feel this heaviness of needing to have all the answers, have everything planned out, have the next 10, 15, 20, 30 years planned out. Kudos to anybody out there that's got it made like that in life, where you have everything mapped out perfectly. For me, to me, that's not really living. To me, that's that's locking yourself in a cube, right? And real freedom to me is take risks, calculated risks, let go of the outcomes, keep focused on your goals, know your values and principles, focus on your state of being. When you are doing something, make sure that you're actively creating, you're a part of it, you're a co-creator of whatever you're doing. Be your most authentic self. So thank you so much for sitting in. May this message find you well and whole, and I'll see you when I see you.